Have you ever been told, if someone hurts you, just disappear, block them, cut them off, vanish like you never existed? It sounds powerful, doesn't it? Like the ultimate way to take your strength back. And for a while, it works. Silence gives you space to breathe. It protects you from more harm. It creates distance between you and the person who caused the pain. But here's the truth no one talks about. Disappearing is only half the story. There's something far more powerful than vanishing. What if I told you that the deepest transformation doesn't happen when you hide? It happens when you stay visible, but completely transformed. Think about it. When you cut someone off, they may feel your absence for a while. But eventually, life fills the gap. The silence becomes normal. And slowly, they forget. But when you transform, when you return to the world stronger, wiser, more radiant than ever before, forgetting you becomes impossible. Your presence itself becomes proof of your evolution. Every word you speak, every action you take, every breath you breathe radiates at a frequency so high, it can't be ignored. That's real power. Not the power of absence, but the power of undeniable presence. Now, don't get me wrong. Cutting contact has its place. Sometimes you need silence just to survive. But silence is not the destination, it's the doorway. True transformation begins the moment you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and instead ask, "What is this here to teach me?" That one shift changes everything. You stop being a victim of circumstance. You become the architect of your growth. The ancient alchemists had a secret. They spoke of turning lead into gold. But they weren't just talking about metals. They were talking about turning pain into wisdom, suffering into strength, wounds into power. This is inner alchemy. And it begins the moment you decide your transformation will be more powerful than your disappearance. Let me ask you something. When someone hurts you, what's your first instinct? For most people, it's to react, to yell, to confront, to vanish, to do something to show the pain. But here's the problem. Reaction keeps you trapped in the pain. Conscious transformation frees you from it. Carl Jung once said, "What we do not make conscious appears in our lives as fate. If you don't face the wound, you'll keep reliving it. But if you make it conscious, if you transform it, you break the cycle forever." And here's the beautiful part. People can sense this transformation without you saying a single word. There's something magnetic about a person who has turned their pain into wisdom. They don't need to prove anything. They don't need to announce anything. Their energy speaks for them. When someone sees you after this transformation, they instantly know you are no longer the same. And that unsettles them more than your silence ever could. Absence is predictable. Transformation is revolutionary. Think about it. They may have expected to find you broken, bitter, weakened, but instead, they find you more alive than ever before. That doesn't fit the story they created in their head. And suddenly, they are forced to question everything they thought they knew about you. This is why transformation will always shake others more than silence. Because your growth is undeniable proof that they never truly defined you. Now, let's go even deeper. Transformation isn't about ignoring. It's about transcending. Ignoring takes effort. You have to force yourself not to look, not to react, not to care. But transcending is different. When you transcend, you no longer need to ignore because you've outgrown the whole situation. It's like a radio changing its frequency. The old signal just doesn't reach you anymore. This shift changes how you move through the world. You become present, but not attached. Open, but not available to those who don't respect your energy. Your heart doesn't close, it becomes wiser. It knows who to give to and who to guard against. And that is emotional freedom. Imagine your heart as a house. For years, maybe you left the doors wide open. Anyone could walk in, take what they wanted, and leave whenever they pleased. But then comes the awakening. You realize not everyone deserves free access to your inner sanctuary. So you don't shut the house down. You simply set boundaries. Only those who come with respect and love are welcome inside. This is what reclaiming your energy looks like. And here's the powerful part. When you stop pouring your energy into people who don't value it, that energy comes back to you. It fuels your growth. It feeds your dreams. It brings your own light back home. Suddenly, you're no longer defined by their presence or their absence. You are defined by the strength you've built within. Let's use another metaphor. The butterfly. For days, it hides in the cocoon unseen. And in that hidden space, It literally dissolves, becoming something completely new. When it emerges, there is no trace of the caterpillar it once was. The transformation is so complete, it doesn't need to announce itself. The butterfly simply flies, and that flight is the proof of everything it has become. Your journey works the same way. Your growth doesn't need an announcement. It reveals itself in the way you live. Here's another truth people rarely admit. Some people thrive on drama. They want you to react. They need your emotional energy to feel powerful. For a long time, you may have played that role, giving them attention, feeding their games, reacting to their provocations. But what happens when you stop being the audience? When you stop reacting, the play loses its meaning. The drama falls apart. Their tactics no longer work. And suddenly, they're left with the one thing they can't handle: their own emptiness. Your calm becomes their greatest nightmare because it exposes their dependency on chaos. And you're free. You're no longer trapped in their story. You're writing your own. This is what real freedom feels like. At the heart of every human being is an unbreakable light. Pain can dim it. Disappointment can shadow it. But nothing can destroy it. When you reconnect with that light, you stop needing revenge. Your radiance becomes the only answer you need. And here's the beauty. This light doesn't shine to impress. It shines because it's your true essence. It's effortless. It's authentic. And it's unforgettable. You don't need to declare your growth. People will feel it in your presence. You don't need to prove your happiness. It will be written on your face. You don't need to explain your peace. It will be obvious in your calm. This is what alignment looks like, when your inner being and your outer life finally match. And when that happens, your transformation becomes the clearest message of all. So let's bring this all together. Disappearing has its place. Silence has its role. But real power? It comes from transformation. Not absence, but presence. Not hiding, but radiating. Not reaction, but conscious growth. Your metamorphosis is not about them. It never was. It's about remembering who you truly are. It's about reclaiming the light no one can take from you. It's about choosing every day to grow instead of shrink, to rise instead of hide, to shine instead of fade. So today, declare it. Say it with me. I choose to grow, not to react. Because in the end, the most unforgettable thing you can do is not to disappear, but to stand in your full power, transformed, radiant, and free.